Up above the crash scene is the best way to recreate the terrible final seconds of Metro Route 359. Skid marks start a ways back on the southbound lanes of Aurora. That's where the articulated bus swerved across 5 lanes of traffic, crashed through the guardrail, smashed down on top of the apartment building, and then to the ground. The bendable bus smashed into 2 pieces. Meantime, let's move north now on Aurora Avenue, that bus route. KIRO 7 Eyewitness News reporter Sharon Alfonsi has a passenger who was inside the doomed Metro bus 359. Sharon?
That's right. Laethan Wene was getting on the 359 bus going to downtown Seattle. It is a trip he makes often, but it turned out to be anything but routine. Today, he is amazed that he is alive to talk about it. Laethan Wene has a reason to smile tonight. Thank you. Wene was sitting at the back of the 359 bus when he heard gunshots.
I heard a pop, pop, pop.
Moments later, the 359 plunged to the ground 50 feet below.
A big kabang.
Wene couldn't believe what he was seeing and what he was hearing. Wreckage and passengers were everywhere.
A lot of people were screaming and moaning and groaning and just chaos. They were hurt and terrified.
And 24-year-old Wene was in shock.
When the bus landed, I got out of the door. I was on my running away from the scene and to go back home. And
tonight he is grateful for his life, but a bit shaken. And
they were lying all over the place, and I said, my God. I just feel happy that I escaped all of this.
Fortunately, he had no major injuries. Wene does say that he relies on public transportation to get him back and forth to his job, but he says he doesn't think he'll ever go back on a bus again. Reporting live in Seattle, Sharon Alfonsi, KIRO 7 Eyewitness News.
On a bridge thousands of motorists cross every day, you'll find a wreath that marks a moment of mayhem.
From upstairs, you could look down and look into the bus, and you could see people lying all over the place, broken glass, blood, people screaming.
20 years ago today, it was a scene of terror and trauma off the Aurora Bridge. Metro bus route 359 was headed south on the bridge when passenger Silas Cool opened fire on the driver, sending the bus veering out of control and plunging over the railing 50 feet into an apartment building.
Saw this bus just go flying off the bridge, just in a swirl of glass and metal, and I was just stunned.
A big kabang.
Laethan Wene was on board and uninjured. We spoke with him in 1998 and again today.
It was like a roller coaster. I just remember it being dazed, and people were flying everywhere, and yeah, it was just chaos.
Do you remember screaming?
Oh yes, I do. I heard help, help, help. I got out the back door. It was traumatic, and I thought my life was going to be over, but it wasn't. But thank goodness to the Lord.
There were fire department people trying to lift the bus to look for survivors underneath it, and it was just mayhem.
Floyd Steiger was the first SPD detective on scene where the driver, a passenger, and the gunman died.
My first impression was it looked like a plane crash. I mean, the coach was here. It was a triage situation for the fire department, a bunch of injured people, but I kept saying, this is a crime scene too, so we have to preserve the crime scene. And it was a mess. If the shooter would have waited 10 more seconds, that thing would have gone 100 feet into the ship canal and everybody on board would have been killed. We were just fortunate that it landed on a building and that there's nobody home in the apartments it landed on, and it saved all those lives.
Today, the Aurora Bridge remains relatively unchanged. The apartment building below, long since repaired. The area is better known for the troll under the bridge than the tragedy that started above.
Every time I've been down here, I think about that accident because, you know, the troll was here, and a lot of tourists come by to stand there and take pictures. They don't realize what mayhem happened 20 years ago today right at this site.
As some people remember, Laethan Wene reflects and rejoices that he's alive. How often do you think about it, Laethan?
Not very often, but every once in a while, and my counseling is helping me out a lot. And yeah, same as my church family. And I'm just thrilled to be here because of the grace of God.
We do want to thank Laethan for sharing his story with us. If you'd like to see the entire story from 1998 with Laethan, you can find that in the throwback section of the KIRO 7 Smart TV app. Steve?